Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are thrilled to have you at today's event. We've got a great group of institutions ready to tell you all about their programs and campuses. This is the StriveScan College Launchpad, and today's event is going to have up to 6 institutions who will each have 6 minutes to share more about their programs, campuses, and they're going to stick around for the entire session to answer any of your questions at the end or during their presentations. My name is Jeannie, and I will be your facilitator for today's event. Before we get started, I have just a very few housekeeping items to make note of. First of all, your camera and your microphone are off today, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. But find that Q&A button on your screen. You can use that at any time during today's event to ask questions to your presenters. You don't have to wait until a certain institution is presenting. If you've got questions, go ahead and use that Q&A button at any time today. This is one of many different sessions happening, so make sure you take a look at the full schedule, which is available at strivescan.com/launch. And that's also where you can find the recording. This session, along with all of the others, are being recorded and will be posted there. All right, I'm going to kick it over to our first presenter here. Getting us started, we have Chatham University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, well, thank you for passing it over, Jeannie. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. All right, thank you all so much for joining us. So I'm going to kick us off. My name is Nicole. I'm an undergrad admission counselor from Chatham University, which is nestled in the town of, or the city, I should say, of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So as you can kind of see here on the map, you have a good idea of where we are on the west side of the state. It's a very student-friendly, safe city full of a lot of culture and charm, and it's also great for STEM interested students because the city itself has really high industries in healthcare and technology. I would say those are some of the 2 biggest booming industries in our city right now. And we also do really like to utilize the city as our larger campus, if you will. Try to call that our city as classroom, because as you see here on the left, our Shadyside campus, which is the main one in Pittsburgh, is nestled up on a hill, but you go down that hill and you're immediately on a city block. So it's great because you have a very intimate size classroom experience on campus, and then you're in the city, which is great for research, internships, clinicals, lots of great opportunities there. And we have a great partnership with the preeminent healthcare organization, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, which is all across the city of Pittsburgh and beyond. And our second campus, Eden Hall, is about 40 minutes north of the city. We have almost 400 acres, so very different from our city campus, but that is where we have our School of Sustainability and Environmental Sciences. So definitely utilized for some really unique areas in those types of sciences. And then of course we have residence halls throughout campus, and we even have a residence hall at Eden Hall as well for students looking to live there. But they'll range anywhere from really unique turn-of-the-century mansions to your traditional style dorms. And we also have fully furnished apartment complexes at the bottom of our hill, which is where we tend to see a lot of our upperclassmen living throughout their final years. And to talk about who we are and what that size of our campus is, I talked about those intimate class sizes, so 10-to-1 faculty to student ratio. Overall, we're looking at about 2,300 students, and that number is growing. We're a fast-growing university. Last year, we had our highest incoming class ever for undergrads, so we're really excited to just keep growing and evolving across our campuses. And this just kind of gives you some numbers and background as to who our students are that make up that 2,300 plus number for undergrad and graduate students. And to talk a little bit more about what those students do, you know, we are actually very active in our athletics. Most of our sports are D3 NCAA, except for our squash team, which is kind of a fun, unique team that we have, and we're 13th in the nation, which is super exciting. So it's been fun to see that team, who's been very recent grow in our school. And another thing that students can do to get involved are student organizations and clubs. I think something that's really wonderful about the liberal arts school environment is just the ability to thrive and create your own space, but also to be that big fish in a small pond. So a lot of these clubs that you see here listed are student driven or student created. Our Cold Case Files Club, where students work on real cold case files, was created by its students. Our Minor Bird Literary Magazine is student publication on campus. And then of course, there's other ways to get involved with your major. A lot of majors have related clubs, which is a great way to get to know students at different levels in your area of interest, which will be great for advice, for taking tests or applying for internships and things like that. But now we're going to get a little bit more into the academic side of things. So these are some majors I pulled to kind of show you an example of where you see STEM across the board here at Chatham. So anywhere, you know, when you're thinking technology, we have a really unique major called immersive media. That's a much more virtual design meets tech approach. Think augmented, virtual reality, 3D graphics, coding. And music technology is kind of unique too. This is where you see the depth of a liberal arts school really start to shine. But then you get into environmental sciences, sustainability. And for a lot of students who are very interested in pre-health tracks, you have biology, neuroscience, things like that, that help them as they prepare for masters in healthcare programs or pre-med. And something that I wanted to touch a little bit more on that I think is really exciting and unique to our school is our integrated degree programs, which are essentially accelerated programs that students can apply into as they're applying into Chatham. So you are applying into both. And it's nice because as we'll do, you know, a review for you, we'll be looking at, you know, your grades, your GPA, things like that. And if you get accepted into that, you know, master's level or entry doctoral level program, it's kind of nice to know you have that saved seat for you and you have something to really work towards, but knowing you have that seat at the end of the road. So most of our programs, especially in the master's, are going to be a 3+2. Entry doctorate levels are going to be 4+2.5. So these are really excellent programs if you already know what track you want to eventually go towards. And as I had mentioned, you know, there's a lot of pre-health advising. So this is where a lot of students have gone into medical school, dental school, and these are just some examples of schools over the past 4 years they've gone to. Since I'm going a little over on time, I just mentioned that we love our students to go abroad. So all students get $1,200 to use towards study abroad. Of course, with admission, all students get academic merit scholarships, ranging anywhere from $10,000 to $22,000 annually. And don't forget to file your FAFSA, of course. And then lastly, just the application process. We typically see our application opening on our website or on Common App for free, starting around August 1st. We will be test optional for fall 23. And we do recommend that you include a letter of recommendation and an essay because we do like to look at you very holistically. So,
all right, Chatham, I'm so sorry. I have to cut you off.
great.
It looks like it was just a perfect time. All right.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much for kicking us off with such a strong presentation. We're going to go ahead and kick it off now to Ramapo College of New Jersey. We are ready for you whenever you are ready for us.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me tonight. And thank you so much for joining us all here tonight. So my name is Kelly Duran. I am an admissions counselor at Ramapo. And so first, really getting started about some quick facts about Ramapo. So we are a very suburban campus, a lot of nature, a lot of trees, a lot of greenery around campus. We are ranked as an Arbor Foundation Green College. We're located in northern New Jersey, up in Mahwah. We have about 6,000 students altogether between undergraduate and graduate students. So we're the smallest four-year public college in New Jersey. So students also really get to know faculty members. So our student to faculty ratio is 16:1. There are also no lecture hall courses anywhere on campus. Our average class size is about 21. Largest class students will ever have is also going to be 35, which includes all of your lectures and all of your labs, especially for all of our STEM students here. And then we are also a test optional institution as well for all of our undergraduate majors, as well as all of our 4+1 programs as well. So really getting started about all of our majors, especially in our School of Theoretical and Applied Science. So for majors, there's a ton of different options. So biochemistry, bioinformatics, biology, chemistry, clinical lab science, computer science, data science, engineering, physics, environmental science, integrated science studies, mathematics, medical imaging science, and then lastly, nursing. And then we also have a lot of different graduate programs as well. So Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, which has a 4+1 option, Master of Science in Computer Science, which also has a 4+1 option, Master of Science in Data Science, you guessed it, another 4+1 option. And then also we have our Master of Science in Nursing in 3 different areas: family nurse practitioner, nursing administration, nursing education. And then lastly, our first and so far only doctorate degree is our Doctorate of Nursing Practice as well. So there's a lot of hands-on education. There are internships available for all of our majors. Most of our students will typically average at the minimum 1 internship or 1 faculty research experience before graduation. We have about 10,000 internship opportunities alone for students. And then about 1,000 in New York City. And then typically we'll have about 500 employers on campus annually to be able to meet with students, either in small groups or in our career fairs. And there's also opportunities for international internships. So then kind of leading us into talking about student life. So there's a really active study and intern abroad program. We have about 500 different programs globally, and altogether we go to about 60 different countries and also every continent. They can range anywhere from a week-long program to a year-long program. Most popular time students will go is typically the summer months, which is normally about a 5-week program. And then there are internships in about 45 of those countries as well. Also, we are Division 3, so we have 18 Division 3 sports teams. Most popular: basketball, baseball, soccer, track and field, swimming and diving, field hockey, and lacrosse. We also have competitive club sports. Most popular for that especially are cheerleading and our dance team, and then intramural sport leagues as well. And then we have about 150 different student clubs, organizations, as well as Greek life, community service, and also leadership programs for students to get involved in. Also living on campus. So the 3 residence halls you see here, Pine Hall, Mackin Hall, and Bischoff Hall, are all of our first year residence halls. So there is free laundry, heat, and AC in all of our residence halls. All the suites have semi-private bathrooms, so there are no communal bathrooms anywhere on campus. And then also cars are allowed on campus and housing is guaranteed all 4 years. We're also ranked #1 best college dorms in New Jersey by niche.com, and nationally we're ranked in the top 2%, so something that we are especially very prideful of. We are also an even 50-50 split, so half of our students will live on campus, half of our students will also commute to campus as well. So also for an application, so we are either on the Common App, the Coalition app, or the Ramapo College application. About 88% of our students will typically use the Common App, so it is hands down most popular. So we'll also need your high school transcript. Average GPA is about a 3.4. We'll also require at least 1 letter of recommendation, but always will recommend students submit at least 2. So either from a teacher, counselor, coach, supervisor of your job, really whoever can write you the best letter of recommendation. Possible additional things you'll have to submit. You know, if you're taking any AP exams, you'll be able to send the score reports to give us credit. Also do enrollment transcripts if you're getting credit for any classes in high school that you want to be able to get credit for as well. And if you're also interested in applying to our honors program, which has an additional essay as well. And then down on the bottom is our application deadline. So first we have early decision, which is November 1st. So early decision is you're 120 million% sure Ramapo is the only school you want to go to. Early action, which is non-binding, is December 15th. It is also a priority deadline for nursing, biology, and scholarship consideration. And then lastly, regular decision is February 1st. So that's our final application deadline. And then otherwise, connect with us: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We do in-person campus tours Monday through Friday. We also will be having a spring open house on May 1st. We'll also be having one in September and October. Those registrations will open normally in the summer months. And then the bottom is the interactive information page for our prospective students. And then otherwise, this is all of my contact information, links to the Ramapo website, interactive page, virtual campus tour, in-person campus tours, and then in-person open house as well. And so again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you have any questions, please feel free to be able to drop them in the chat.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Ramapo. That was a wonderful presentation as well. We're going to keep on moving now, and we are going to hear from Maine Maritime Academy. Take it away whenever you are ready.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna do my best to share my screen while I introduce myself. So hopefully you can all see that. My name is Elizabeth Allaby, and I'm an admissions counselor at Maine Maritime Academy. And we are very much a STEM school. Our focus is on science, technology, engineering, math, as well as business. And I'll dive into that a little bit deeper. So we're located in Castine, Maine, right on the coast of Maine. And we are in Castine Harbor. So you can see our training ship right there in that middle photo. We're right on the coast. So that means our students have a lot of access to the ocean, either for ocean studies or to take out our different fleet of vessels. We've got over 60 motor, sail, and everything in between. So I'll dive in a little bit deeper. We're a small school. We're right around 950 undergraduates. What that means for you as a student, you're going to be in small class sizes. So you're not really going to be able to hide. The professors are going to know you by name, and they'll be able to help you out all along the way during any of your classes, or even connect you to different sort of summer opportunities, work opportunities. The 4 areas that we predominantly focus in are engineering, transportation, management, so our international business program, and ocean studies. And you might see in some of these images pictures of some of our students in uniform. So any of our students who are earning unlimited tonnage licenses from the US Coast Guard, they're actually going to go work out at sea, either as marine engineers or transportation officers. So they'll be up on the deck actually navigating that ship. And you'll probably hear similarly from the other 2 maritime academies who are with me. So at the end of the day, you're looking for that right fit college. So definitely pay attention to sort of the size and the location as to where the school is. Then shoreside, we also offer power engineering, where students can focus on hydroelectric power, wind, solar, power plants, things like that. The management piece falls nicely under that maritime umbrella because we focus on logistics, truly that global supply chain management and moving people and goods from point A to point B. And then that ocean studies component contains our marine biology, our oceanography program. And these students are able to combine what they'd like to study with also a 200 tonnage license from the Coast Guard. So that can really elevate our graduates who go out into the workforce. You have not only those hard science skills, but the ability to operate research vessels. We're a very hands-on school. Almost every lecture that you will take will have a lab component as well. So that way, by the time that you graduate, your skill set is truly muscle memory. And this is one of the reasons why our graduates are so highly appreciated in the industry. So here's a small selection as to some of the labs that we offer on our campus. Just to touch on the Regiment of Midshipmen, our uniform student body. So about 65% of our student body will be in uniform. And don't confuse this with military school, although we look like it. So students who are in uniform are participating in the regiment, which is really like a professional or a leadership development program. So in order to go and operate the world's largest vessels, something like 1,600 feet, right, in international waters coming in and out of ports, you need to be able to uphold professional standards, work as part of a team, but it is open for all of our majors. So if you're in any of the other programs and you like the structure, you can certainly join. There is no military obligation when you graduate. What I meant by don't let the uniform fool you, but it is very much, the regiment is gearing you up for that professional sort of lifestyle and being a good leader. The other sort of extension to our program, so you'll have a lot of hands-on experience on campus, and during the summer we do a phenomenal job getting students out into the field, either on cruise. You'll see in that far left photo our 500-foot training vessel, or on co-ops, internships, cadet shipping experiences in which you're going to go out and actually work for a company. And our career services department is the best center to help you find those summer opportunities and to get you out working for that company, helping you grow your industry contacts, grow your network, and most importantly, getting you that job when you graduate college. So here I've listed some of the spots that our students have gone on to work for when they've graduated. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask either in the chat or in the FAQs. And you can also visit our campus if you happen to be in Maine. I highly recommend it. Again, we're right on the coast, so it's pretty beautiful. And as we go into this next application cycle, we are remaining test optional. So if you have your SAT and your ACT scores, feel free to submit those, but you're not required to. Other than that, we're looking for students at about a 3.5 GPA higher. Those, of course, always welcome. And if you got any questions, I'll drop my contact info in the chat where you can see it right here. Thank you so much for your time and good luck. Enjoy your college search.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Maine Maritime Academy. It is not easy to get all this important stuff in just 6 short minutes, and you all are doing a fantastic job. We are going to turn now to the Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Go ahead and pull your presentation up whenever you are ready. As you get that pulled up, I'm just going to remind everyone that that Q&A function is live. So please submit your questions. Our colleagues from these institutions would be happy to answer any questions you have. All right, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Elizabeth, great seeing you again. This is Al from Massachusetts Maritime Academy and the Director of Admissions there, and I'd like to welcome you all to this evening's program. There we go. Just like Elizabeth said, we are one of the 6 state maritime academies in the United States. We are located right on Cape Cod near the Bourne Bridge. We're about an hour south of Boston, Massachusetts. We have 1,300 approximately undergraduate students, in addition to about 100 students pursuing their master's degrees. We are one of the many state schools within the state of Massachusetts, very STEM focused, as most of the schools are that are presenting tonight. But we have a very different approach in our education. Our entire campus is regimented, unlike a lot of the other state maritime academies. We also have 15 Division III athletic varsity sports, men and women and co-ed. In addition, we also have club and intramural sports as well. We have very distinct majors at the academy. We have the license track, just like Elizabeth had mentioned previously, the marine engineering and marine transportation, which are the programs that students would complete in order to get their Coast Guard licensure to be deck officers or engineers. We also have facilities engineering major, which allows students to pursue careers working in the management and understanding of facilities of a building or a hospital, a school, or a skyscraper. We also have a very unique program called Energy Systems Engineering, which is our most demanding program. Allows students to work in power plants that generate electricity, whether they're produced by carbon, solar, wind, water, etc. We also have an emergency management major with a minor in Homeland Security, where students can also get their EMT and fire certification. We also have an international maritime business program, which allows students to understand the logistics and shipping side of the world. 90% of all goods and services are shipped via the ocean, but somebody has to coordinate those on land. And then finally, we have our marine science, safety, and environmental protection program. All of our programs lead to either careers either at sea or on land. One of the unique things that makes Mass Maritime different from a lot of the other maritime schools is all of our students are in the regiment, understanding how to develop honor, leadership, and discipline, regardless if they're in the licensed track or not. So even if you pick a non-licensed program, you will have the opportunity to develop your leadership skills, which employers seek out very heavily today in the market, in addition to your academic and career aspect. Upon graduation, you are not required to join the military, though we do have opportunities for our students to pursue either active duty or reserve officer commission programs through the Coast Guard, through the Army, through the Navy. And those are opportunities. About 15% of our cadets pursue that upon graduation. This is our new training ship that's going to be delivered hopefully in the winter of 2024. Our current ship, which you saw earlier, is the TS Kennedy. And this is the ship that our students that are in marine engineering, marine transportation, facilities engineering, and international maritime business have the opportunity to go out and get their certification and required sea hours once a year. Our sea term typically happens between our fall and winter, for our fall and spring semester that happens typically between January and February. We're also excited to get the new 100-foot long schooner vessel, the Ernestina Morrissey, will be coming to campus later this year. It's getting completely refurbished. and we're very excited to have this ship join our fleet as well. As I mentioned earlier, we have an array of various men's and women's Division III athletics. About 40% of our students participate in varsity sports. We also have club and intramural sports and student organizations as well. We're typically looking for students that have a strong academic record, particularly in their math and sciences, to be admitted to the academy. Our average weighted GPA is around 3.1 and higher. SAT scores are still optional. However, energy systems engineering, we most likely will be asking for those scores for the class of 2023. You can apply either online or through the Common App. Our early action deadline is November 1st. Our priority deadline is February, and our final deadline for the fall for freshmen is April 15th. Typically, high school transcript, personal essay, 2 letters of recommendation. Our SAT and ACT scores are optional, but they are required for the energy systems program. If you took AP courses or college courses, please ensure that you submit those for possible college credit as well. We have multiple visitor programs throughout the year. We have daily tours. Our next open house for this year will be on May 7th. And then we will be having multiple open houses in the fall, typically October, November, and in December. You can also sign up for personal interviews, cadet chats, and find out more information, please visit our website. And there is my contact information. And I wish you all the best in your college search.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Massachusetts Maritime Academy. All right, we are going to hear now from our last institution for this portion of the event. We are going to hear from Binghamton University, SUNY. We are ready whenever you are.
Hi, everybody. I'm just going to take a minute to share my screen. Okay, great. So hi, everyone. My name is Jen Catalano. I am an admission specialist at Binghamton University. I'm also a recent alumni. I graduated in 2019 with my bachelor's degree in human development. Today, I'm going to try to focus in this short amount of time more specifically about STEM at Binghamton. There is quite a lot of other majors at Binghamton that I will briefly allude to as well, but we'll talk about STEM mostly today. So Binghamton University is located in upstate New York. You'll see we're in a really key location. We're located within driving distance to multiple major cities like New York City and Philadelphia. Washington, D.C. is only about 5 hours. And then on the left-hand side of this slide, you can see our Binghamton by the number. So we're considered a mid-sized institution. We have about 14,000 undergraduate students. We get over 42,000 applications a year, so it is a very competitive process at Binghamton, but our retention rate is 92%. If you don't know what retention rate is essentially that once students come to Binghamton University, they stay at Binghamton University. They don't choose to transfer, they don't drop out, they don't leave for any reasons, and the national average is only around 73% there. So that's a really good indicator of the fact that students love Binghamton University, which is great. On the bottom, you'll see our academic profile. All of these numbers are a mid 50% range. So this is the average numbers of our incoming students, 93 to a 98 for GPA, also as a 3.7 to a 3.9, and then ACT and SAT scores there as well. And now I'm going to talk a bit about our academic programs. So we have quite a lot to offer. So Binghamton is broken up into 6 different schools. This is essentially just how we categorize and organize our majors and programs here. The first one is our Harper College of Arts and Sciences. This houses ones like psychology, neuroscience, biology, some of those STEM programs. If you are a pre-pharmacy student, you'll also be studying in the Harper College of Arts and Sciences. This school also houses a lot of other programs like pre-law, philosophy, politics, arts, humanities, and so many more. So it's very easy for students to double major, minor in different programs as well. The next one I'm going to talk about briefly is our Decker College of Nursing and Health Sciences. So this is our nursing program. We've been ranked one of the top nursing programs. It's very competitive in terms of the fact that our students have a brand new state-of-the-art facility with brand new equipment. They get really good hands-on experiences prior to even graduating. And then lastly, I just wanted to, I want to talk about the Thomas J. J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. We offer biomedical, mechanical, industrial and systems, computer and electrical. And then we also offer computer science as a major and a minor. And then lastly is that School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, which is actually our graduate program. But that's listed here because we do offer that as a pre-pharmacy program while you're an undergraduate student. And then of course we have multiple fast track degrees, 4+1, 5+1 programs, as well as pre-med, pre-health, and other pre-professional programs. Very briefly, we have a lot of research opportunities at Binghamton University. All students are encouraged and welcome to get involved in research on our campus. We do offer research in all of our majors, all of our programs, no matter what students may be interested in. And then we also have additional invitation-only honors programs that focus on research during students' first semester on our campus. I will put links in the chat regarding those so you can read a little bit more about them. Lastly, I just want to touch a bit about some of our successful graduates in our alumni network. So you'll see here our average starting salary is a bit higher than the national average. That's a really good indicator of the success that students at Binghamton University are achieving, especially right out of graduation. You'll see some of those brand names at the bottom, some places where our students have gone on to and have been very successful. Additionally, Binghamton graduates are accepted to medical schools about 10% higher above the national average, as well as higher rates for law schools and other post-professional schools as well. I talked very fast. I know I talked about a lot. I'm going to put a few links in the chat so that you can refer to different things. And then lastly, in my last 30 seconds, I just wanted to tell you about student life at Binghamton University. We have over 450 student clubs and organizations on our campus. We're also Division I, and then we also do have club and intramural sports. So a lot to get involved with. So thank you all for listening to me. Appreciate you having me very much.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Binghamton University, SUNY. All right, we are now going to move on into the Q&A portion of the event here. I am going to ask all of our wonderful presenters to join me on video. The way this is going to work is we have a few questions that we will go through. I'll read the question, and then I'm going to turn it over to our school reps who will each answer the question in the same order they presented in, and then we'll go on to the next question. We'll use as much time as we have. We end at 1/4 till the hour. All right, so the first question I have for everyone is, what is one thing that you want students to remember about your STEM programs? Again, in the same order, we will kick it off with Chatham University.
Well, I was thinking about this, and something that came to mind was that while we are deeply rooted in sciences and STEM programs here at Chatham, I think something that's also really unique about us is that we're also really rooted in meaningful and impactful action. And I think you see that most through our alumna, Rachel Carson, who really made an impact in writing about, the climate crises and the negative impact of commercial pesticides on the environment. So I think that we kind of try to continue her legacy through our programs today.
I would say really the biggest thing for all of our STEM-related programs, but also for all of our programs for Ramapo, you also will, built into your career is your Career Pathways program run through our Cahill Center, our career office. And so it consists of career skills courses that really help you be more successful in securing whatever your next step is going to be, whether that's an internship, a shadowing experience, getting ready to be able to apply for any type of medical type of school as well. And so, career assessment, resume, cover letter, and interview practice, and they're based by a specific academic major as well. So your specific advisor is going to be working with only students who are going into STEM related fields as well, because obviously everything that you're doing is going to look very different than a business student. So that would be my big thing I would like.
I apologize. Can you remind me what our first question is?
Of course, yeah. So we are asking for you to share what's one thing that you want our attendees to remember about STEM programs at your institution.
Alrighty, I think I'm gonna take some of Al's fire with Mass Maritime, but certainly just being aware that the majority of our programs exist out on the water. So whether or not you're actually going to go on our 500-foot training vessel all summer long to apply those engineering skills, your navigation skills, things like that. Our ocean studies students have access to a research vessel. And everybody, again, has all those opportunities to take different boats out. So even if you want to go out just recreationally, or you want to go out and enjoy your lab out on the water as opposed to on land, it's sort of in the name, right? All things maritime. So keep that in mind. If you want to take your classroom, put it on a boat, it's definitely the school for you. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and spin a little bit off Elizabeth, because obviously being a maritime academy, I mean, most of our programs are geared towards majors towards, careers on the water, but a lot of our programs have equal amount of opportunities for jobs on land. And one of the unique thing about our STEM education is the way we bundle everything in a regimental environment. So all of our 7 programs, students are in a regimental leadership structure in their entire 4 years of education, which helps them develop from a follower to a leader, which really accents their education and gives them a step up as they get out into their first STEM job with leadership experience, which companies are really looking for. And it's really a great ROI on that investment in your education.
And for Binghamton, I would have to say what's important to remember regarding STEM is just how many opportunities are available to students, whether that's from internships, hands-on experiences in the classroom, outside the classroom, participating in research opportunities. There's really quite a lot to take advantage of in any of those STEM majors or fields, depending on where you end up. I think it's also important to remember research. Binghamton's an R1 research institution. Sorry if you can hear my dog shaking. He's got some allergies. He's like shaking his collar around. I think STEM is also really important to remember the research aspect. That's just another way to get things on your resume, get that hands-on experience, and just get a head start for yourself.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for that really useful information for our students who are considering STEM programs here. And hearing people and seeing people's pets is my favorite part of things going virtual. So no problem at all. All right, we are going to go to our next question, which is, what is a piece of advice that you would give someone going through the general college search process? We're going to go ahead and go in the same order. So we'll ask for Chatham University to kick us off again.
So I would say something that I think is really helpful as you go through your search is visit campuses. Definitely, especially now that you have summer coming up, if that's something that is accessible to you, it's so important because you can look at all the materials and you can look at the social medias and websites, but it really makes an impact when you get your feet on campus and you understand what a classroom size looks like and where you'd be living the day-to-day life. So yes, focus on your academics for sure, but then take a step out there, try some campuses, and try a campus you may not think you would like. So if you think your heart's set on a big campus, try a small one too, just to be sure, because you never know what you think may be the perfect fit may surprise you. So just make sure to give yourself room to try a couple things. So that's my bit of advice.
My big piece of advice is, one, you are meeting all these wonderful people on the call, but you have a counselor at no matter what school you are interested in that you're going to eventually be applying to, get to know them. And that is something as simple as an email introducing yourself, or, hey, I have a few questions. Can you tell me a little bit about this? Can we schedule a call? Either, phone call, email, text message, Zoom, whatever, however you need to get the information. Especially also let us know when you're going to be on campus. We'd love to meet you in person too, but get to know who your person is at the schools that you are especially interested, so that you know directly who to contact. And if they can't answer your question, they are bound to be able to tell you, I can't answer it, but here's the person you should be talking to instead.
I think those 2 pieces of advice are pretty solid. I would recommend to not limit yourself. Sometimes you don't know if you want that R1 school, that D1 school, that D3 school, the small school, the big school, right? Until you really go and see it. Especially a campus like ours. We are pretty far up the coast of Maine, but we're about an hour away from Acadia National Park. It's pretty rural. And so you might really like the campus, but definitely check out the surroundings and make sure it's going to be a good fit and that you'll be happy there for 4 years, because at the end of the day, it's your experience and you're only going to do, you know, as good as you are enjoying yourself. So don't limit yourself.
Would probably add to this conversation, when you go visit a campus or maybe afterwards, there's so many opportunities for prospective students to talk to a current student, because it's great to hear from us in admissions. This is what we do every day, but I think it's important to talk to a student and find out why they chose that school, what they like about that school, where the school has taken them thus far, and where it might be taking them, because they were not that far removed from where you are right now looking at your future. And sometimes it's just as easy as making connection with a current student. So that would be my advice.
And I have to say, quite honestly, I'm going to build off a little bit of everybody else's answers because I think you guys really got hit it well. Nicole, you started by saying visiting campuses. I say one of the biggest things is when you visit a college campus, ask yourself, can I see myself living here? You know, is this going to be my home for the next 4+ potential years? Also, in terms of accessibility, what's really great is now a lot of college campuses have the virtual tours, the campus 360s, or the different things that they record and post on the admissions pages. So even if you can't physically go, I definitely recommend checking out those. And then lastly, what Al said, talking to current students, a lot of schools now make it really easy for you to get in touch with current students. On Binghamton's contact page, you can chat like on a chat messaging system with current students. I'm sure some of these other schools have similar programs, and our students love to talk and share their experiences. So, and also just remember, you know, admissions is here for you, and we do have your back and we want to help you. So don't be afraid to take advantage of us. We are definitely here for you.
Fantastic. Well, great advice all around. We barely have time for one more question. We're going to fit it in for you all. So rapid fire, 30 seconds or less from each of our institution. What is one myth that you want to debunk during this process? Take it away, Chatham.
Okay, quickly, the myth is you are not alone when you're doing this application process. We, your admission counselors, are the ones reading your app. So reach out to us if you have questions before you apply. Reach out to us after you apply, but know there are real humans on the other side of this, cheering you on, here for you if you need to reach out. Please email, text us, call us. That's what our job is here for, and we want to advocate for you and see you succeed.
My number one myth is test optional means test optional. It is not a trick. It is the way I describe it to students. It's a pie. It's all the parts of your application. So SAT, ACT scores, your essay, everything you're involved in, and then your high school transcript and your rigor. If you just take out the SAT and ACT, all those other parts are just more important. And we are not going to say, oh, well, this student didn't submit their test scores. If anything, we're going to say this student submit their test scores and they're a little bit below our average. We're going to treat them as test optional because we don't want to penalize them. Test optional, test blind, they all apply, and we are not trying to trick you to be able to take those tests. We mean what we say, because otherwise we would have said we require the SAT or ACT.
I'm going to second both what Nicole and Kelly said. So we're on your side, and test optional means exactly that. It's optional for you if you want to take it and if you want to submit your scores.
I would say never price yourself out of picking a school, because there's so many opportunities for scholarships and financial aid. And most importantly, there's so many outside scholarships that are available to students that go unclaimed every year. And it's just as simple as filling out an application and submitting an essay, and hey, $750 adds up, helps with books. Take advantage of it.
I would say a common myth to debunk would be, don't get so in your head about statistics and numbers and everything that goes into a perfect application. You know, if you really want to apply to a school, talk to the admissions, see what your probability is they'll be honest with you and just go for what you want. It's going to be okay no matter what happens in the end ultimately. But not everything is so cut and dry, especially with certain schools. It generally tends to be a very holistic process when we look at applications. So hang in there and it's going to be okay.
Well, this was some of the best advice and myth busting that I've heard on a session. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. I also want to thank all of our attendees who joined, whether you are catching the recording or you are here live. We are so glad to have you. And just a few final reminders. I want to make sure and share that this is one of many different sessions, so please make sure that you jump into another session taking place immediately after this. And that also this recording, along with all of the others, will be at that strivescan.com/launch. There are also other events taking place later this month and next month as well. And then last but not least, when you close out your Zoom screen today, you're going to get a very quick survey. Any feedback that you can provide will help us make these events better for you in the future. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.